okay, getting the first pick. Oh, get three, Pyro, get three with the
Blade Kid putting on a clinic. Whole team's down. Oh!
Experience tranquility.
Good evening, Overwatch fans. Welcome to the end of Week 2, Stage 2 of the Discord tier of the Overwatch Tranquility Tournament. Tonight, we have an exciting match out of Indigo Pool B, where Battalion and the Flying Lions will be facing off against each other. Both of these teams have had great success in Stage 1, Battalion ending the stage with a 4-1 record, and the Flying Lions ending with a 3-2 record. In this match, we will see both teams, who already have won Stage 2 win apiece, hungry to start a win streak and continue strong heading into Week 3. I'm Chimanzy on the play-by-play tonight, joined by Needle on analysis. What are you looking forward to tonight, Needle?
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing a lot of returning players from the past few seasons of Trank in this match. You know, we've casted a lot of matches, Chim, where there's a lot of new players, and I don't really know what to expect, but I kind of know what to expect from some of these players. You got some veterans like PDK, Captain Cat, Normac, to name a few. So I'll be excited to see these players again. I believe these teams haven't been featured much, if at all, so be interested to see how their players play.
Yeah, I'm super excited. We've got so many players tonight who have played previously. I mean, even on just the Flying Lions, we've got Cinnamon, Greninja, we got Anzi, Upsetting, Crimson, Captain Cat. We've got so many, and pretty much the same amount from Battalion too. So it's gonna be a really exciting match to see what these old Tranquility players can offer in the new season.
Yep, very true. And another thing I'll be interested in is what exactly these teams are going to opt to play, because there've been a lot of changes going on in Overwatch, like balance changes, a lot of patches. So I noticed the most common thing that Discord tier teams opt into is just going the Somber Reaper, but at the same time we've seen some more variants like Lightspeed. Lightspeed plays a lot of Ash Mercy, so don't know exactly what we're going to see tonight, but I'll be interested to see what these teams think of this current meta.
That's true. I'm excited to see what they opt to play. And heading into our first map is going to be Control, and the map pick is going to be Nepal. And Nepal, or Control in general, really is pretty much a brawl-orientated map type, where comps that output high damage at close range are going to generally succeed the most because of how enclosed points are. What do you expect to see here on Nepal?
Well, I expect to see the Somber Reaper that I was mentioning earlier. It's pretty common in Overwatch League for a few reasons. You know, Roadhog's kind of running rampant with the very heavy damage in Overwatch League. Obviously, a few patches back, but a lot of teams still like to play this rush style. And I think you mentioned earlier, it really does fit Control. You know, the aggression. Lucio historically has been a really strong hero on Control. So I'll be excited to see how these teams face off in the mirror, because this might set the tone for the rest of the series.
Yeah, and this Somber Reaper comp, as some Owlcasters have described it, it's almost more goats than goats. You go in super fast on a hack target, and you have all 6 people focus one person, they should pretty much instantly die. As we do see these two teams just starting to stage here and poke a little bit before the actual fight.
Yeah, both these teams just waiting out, probably waiting for the control point to unlock. MB Compton looking for the Sombra, can't find it, but now Battalion decides to go in hard, focusing the Winston here.
Yeah, Pumpkin's gonna fall super early, and for the Flying Lions, that's a huge loss. They're gonna have to regroup all the way into their Mega Pack, and Battalion's gonna push this advantage super aggressively, which is really good for them to get those stagger picks off.
Yeah, that was some nice early focus from Battalion, and good cleanup as well, but no, virtually no ultimates on the board here. Not even the Moiras have their coalescences. The closest ultimate is PDK going for that Death Blossom, so we're going to see another neutral fight. But now Battalion, they have the point, they have the advantage of having all the space to stage an aggressive hold, but a good hack from Platinum could open this up for the Flying Lions.
That's true. Flying Lions are going to be taking this high ground here. Star Platinum does get hacked by Mudkip, which is absolutely huge. It's going to allow Battalion to basically just get out scot-free from their positioning. PDK pops the Reaper roll, taking Pumpkin extremely low. Doesn't quite finish off the pick. He's going to fall early and upsetting. He doesn't trade the Lucio. Both teams without a Lucio. Pumpkin does go down though. It's going to be no main tank for the Flying Lions. Once again, going to be really tough for them to push in as Battalion just continues to clean up the remaining members.
Yeah, a little bit back and forth there, but Battalion come out on top, and now they have a lot of ultimates. They pretty much have their other 5 besides their Death Blossom they expended that fight, but there are going to be a lot of ultimates that are almost ready here for the Flying Lions. They almost have the EMP, the Bomb, the Reaper ult, so they've got some tools to engage if they take a little bit of poke, try to charge up the rest of their ultimates. I think they'll be pretty set to go in for this next fight.
Yeah, an early hack on a Mudkip though is going to put Battalion in a really bad spot. Sushi pops a Coalescence, Captain Cat pops a Measure, and to counter it. Both teams just poking each other out here. Mudkip with the EMP doesn't quite catch most of the team. Does get 3. The Reaper rolls out from Upsetting, gets 3 though. That's a huge advantage for the Flying Lions. Upsetting get a 4th pick. 5 picks for upsetting that fight. And Flying Lions are going to go ahead and cap this point after finishing off Normal.
Yeah, that's a very ideal fight win for the Flying Lions there, not having to use their Sound Barrier or their EMP, and those are the 2 most important ultimates in this meta, in my opinion. But now Pumpkin is on Roadhog, which this perplexes me. I really don't understand this pick from the Flying Lions, but you know, maybe they know, but I don't.
Yeah, it's a very interesting pick. As we mentioned earlier, you know, some Overwatch League teams started to play this Reaper Somber comp, the counter Hog, and that is on the patch where Hog it does a lot more damage than now. So it's definitely interesting to see. But Flying Lions going to this fight with the old advantage, you know, the Hog pick could work with the EMP combination. And speaking of EMP, Platinum does launch the EMP as well as the bomb onto point. Pumpkin gets the pick on a PDK. The beat goes out to sustain for Flying Lions, and up to Flying Lions are going to be easily able to clean up the rest of the members of the Battalion.
Yeah, that was a good fight win there for the Flying Lions, but unfortunately for them, Battalion, they still have their EMP and their Sound Barrier, which I just mentioned. You know, they're the 2 most important ultimates in this meta. So Battalion could really go in aggressively here with an EMP bomb as well as a Sound Barrier and cause a lot of havoc here on the point.
And unfortunately, Battalion's gonna have to go into this fight 5v6 as they, I believe their main tank has disconnected from the game. Mudkip launches an early MP though, catches 6 members of the Flying Lion. The bomb comes out as well as the Reaper rolls to follow up. PDK gets Pumpkin, is now an even 5v5 on point. Captain Cat pops the Coalescence to keep her team up, and PDK goes down just before Mist can get the heat off on Battalion, and it's still such an even fight here on point. Both teams just continuously just getting these stagger picks onto the other team. Green Ninja's gonna get 2 picks, and Emmy becomes the last remaining member on point for Battalion. Flying Lions are looking like they're going to be able to cap this point.
Yeah, a good 5v6 attempt there from Battalion as they continue to struggle without a main tank. I definitely think if they had a main tank, they would have been much better off in that fight. But now MB Compton is swapped over to the Winston. No Diva here. It's going to be a very difficult life for him playing into the Roadhog, but hopefully he makes the best of it. But Flying Lions, they have EMP and Death Blossom and Bomb. They have a lot of tools to win this last fight and secure the first point.
Yeah, going into this last fight, Battalion is not looking too well. Immediately with a 5v6 deficit, but only with the Coalescence as well, just to show. Upsetting's gonna Reaper roll early. Pumpkin gets to pick on the Mudkip. Upsetting picks off Mist, and Battalion's only gonna have 3 members whacked on the point. And out of those 3 members, 2 are gonna get hit by Star Platinum's EMP. Pumpkin pops the Hoggle to try to finish off the last remaining members. Greninja's bomb doesn't quite pick off any, but Flying Lions is easily able to cap the point, making it all 1-0.
Yeah, that was a good turnaround there from the Flying Lions. They were down 0-91, come back, lose the point for a little bit, but then finished out 199. Definitely think it could have been a bit of a different story if Battalion had a main tank there, but credit to the Flying Lions for being able to come back and reflip the point and hold on to it pretty well. But hopefully Normac is going to come back for this next point of control, because otherwise this is going to be a very, very unfortunate first map for Battalion, having to play 5v6 2 points in a row. But we get to see them trying to make some swaps here. They're going on to the Roadhog solo tank. as well as the Pharmacy, just trying to exploit the fact that there's no hit scan on the side of Flying Lions. So I think this is actually like the best comp they can come up with 5v6. So it might work out pretty well for them here.
Yeah, the Hog has so much potential for solo kills. You know, you can hook someone and kill that person instantly, pretty much. The Pharmacy is really good for dealing with those big clumps, and Flying Lion is going to go in as a big clump. Mudkip does get picked off early. MB Compton takes out Pumpkin, though. That is a good trade for Battalion. Mistalk gets taken down. Now PDK is going to be super susceptible to that Reaper and Sombra poke. So Battalion's going to have to go all the way back and regroup with their Mercy and Roadhog.
Yeah, it's just so difficult for Battalion to have like any space at all. The FAR is commanding space, but there's no off tank. Like MB Compton, he's on Roadhog. There's no D.Va, there's no Zarya. Nobody's helping poor MB Compton, and it's so tough for Battalion to have any point pressure when there's just a 6-person brawl on the side of Flying Lions. But PDK, he almost has the barrage. That could be a good entry tool for them. Maybe that's what they need to cap the point.
Yeah, all Battalion has here to work with is just the Pharah poke and hoping that MB Compton can get some picks on the Roadhog. He is going to fall early, though, to the push from Upsetting and Pumpkin. As you mentioned earlier, MB Compton doesn't have another tank to help him out, so it's going to be really rough for him pushing into Flying Lions.
Yeah, just a series of unfortunate events as Battalion continue to struggle 5v6 here. You know, it's so difficult. But they still have the barrage and as well as the pulse bomb online. You can't eat them both if you're Greninja, probably. Well, if they use them at the same time. So maybe we'll see some sort of good play here from Battalion, but it's so hard for them to even get past this choke when they don't have a main tank.
Yeah, the pulse bomb comes out from Mudkip, doesn't quite connect though, does do some damage and forces the members of Flying Lion back, but he's going to go down early, and a 4v6 is going to be here for Battalion. Suchi does, unfortunately, I think, lag out there. Pumpkin does pick up 2, and the Battalion main tank did reconnect for just a split second, but unfortunately, they're going to have to go into this last fight on Nepal 5v6.
There was a flash of the Mac, but he's gone now. And now Mudkip is on Doomfist. PDK still holding on to that barrage. Hard for him to find a good opportunity to use it, and there are almost 6 ultimates on the side of Flying Lions. Unfortunately, I think this point is all but Flying Lions. They pretty much have it in the bag here.
The best Battalion can hope for is a big barrage here. Mistalk is going to get taken down early, as well as Sushi and MB Compton. 3 picks for Flying Lions right off the bat, and Greninja says, take your rockets in the face. Does kill PDK during the barrage, and unfortunately, Battalion did make a good effort, but Flying Lions will win Nepal in map 1, 2-0.
Very surprised to see an emote on the point there after winning 5v6, but you know, that was well played by the Flying Lions. On the first point, they turned it around. They did turn it around when it was still 6v6, and they held on the second point of Nepal, and they didn't even give Battalion a single percentage. They didn't give them a chance. You know, they held them down pretty hard there on Nepal, but hopefully we get to see a 6v6 game on this next map of Temple of Anubis. Because 6v6 Overwatch is the Overwatch I'm sure you guys all came here to see, and it's the Overwatch we love to watch. So I believe Normac is coming back in for this next map. Hopefully no more connection issues for Battalion, and hopefully no more connection issues for either team. But what do you think? What do you think these teams are going to opt into on Anubis, Chim? Do you think they're going to switch up the strats a little, or do you think they're going to stick to the Reaper Sombra?
I mean, now heading into Anubis, we do see GLD put in for PDK, and GLD, well known in Harmony tier for his hit scan before moving up to Discord tier. He's made massive improvements, but the thing I found interesting is that they do take out PDK for Anubis. Anubis, well known as, you know, one of the best Junkrat maps, and you know, PDK is well known as a very good Junkrat player, so that's interesting to see. But I do suppose that Battalion has just found more success on this dive composition rather than running Junkrat. And you know, looking at the Flying Lions comp, I actually really like it. You've got some good hit scan pressure from the Ashe and Mercy. The Sombra can get some good big hacks off, and as long as Flying Lions takes these like defensive dives in front of their Ashe, then I think they're gonna have some major success here.
Yeah, I agree, but some good rotations could be the key for Battalion to break through this difficult comp, to break through with the Ashe Mercy, but I guess we'll see how it goes for them here on their attack on Anubis.
Battalion, I believe it's going to be PDK here on the Moira, which I did not see at first, but
I didn't see that one either.
I believe Sushi has unfortunately disconnected, and PDK is going to be filling in for him on the Moira. Battalion taking a slow approach here on the left, trying to minimize that poke and then go in all at once, which is pretty much the best strategy to do with this composition.
Yeah, they get a big anti Flying Lines do now, as Battalion are forced to back out a bit, but they take out Pumpkin.
Yeah, Z's gonna get the res on a Pumpkin, although Battalion does get another pick that they're gonna be up 1 going into this fight, and Pumpkin falls extremely low once again. MB Compton does remech. If they can manage to push this advantage fast, this fight could go to Battalion. Pumpkin falls to Mudkip. MB Compton is going to get slept on the high ground, but this fight is looking really advantageous for Battalion here. Captain Cat on point is going to get hacked and finished off by MB Compton, and Battalion should be able to easily cap its first objective on their first push.
Yeah, that was some very good aggression from Battalion with PDK on the Moira. You know, I've seen him ring flex support, you know, looking to ring flex support for some Harmony teams before. I've never seen PDK lock the nails, but you know, he almost has his Coalescence. Mudkip almost has his EMP. Battalion are looking good for a snowball here as Flying Lines decide to swap to McCree, which I really think is even worse than the Ash here. That McCree doesn't have a really good escape tool to get away from the raw aggression of Battalion's Brawl comp.
Yeah, I agree, and PDK here on his flex support debut has been doing pretty good. The Coalescence is going to be great in combination with the EMP, which does go out and catch 4 members of Flying Lions. Shieldy is going to pick off Pumpkin early, and without their main tank, once again, it's going to be so hard for Flying Lions to establish enough point presence to take this back. Although Z does pop the Valkyrie, an attempt to keep her team up is not successful. And Battalion here with 2 ticks, almost 3, just stuffing the right side. Star Platinum is able to touch and does EMP 4 members. It's Flying Lines may have a chance to resist EMP. The beat does go out for a miss to keep the team up, and the bomb comes out from Greninja, not able to find anything though. Gildy with the Reaper roll doesn't find much.
Yeah, I really liked how Battalion played that second point attack. You know, when Flying Lines came back in with their ultimates, when they came back in with the EMP, the Primal, the Nano, the Bomb, Battalion, they stepped back a bit. They're like, okay, fine, we don't want to die here, you know, because if we die, we're probably not going to win this fight. And they backed out and they came back in with their ultimates that they still had left over. And that was just a really good attack there from Battalion. Definitely looking much better when they have 6 players than when they had 5. But PDK on the Moira surprisingly worked out well for them. I'm sure that's not something that they're doing intentionally. I'm 90% sure that they're forced to do this, probably because of Sushi's internet issues. But PDK on the Moira, you know, it's working. So I imagine they're going to stick to the Reaper Sombra because I don't think PDK is going to be playing other heroes besides Moira this series. But I'm interested. Oh, go ahead.
PDK did play flex support in Harmony for the last half of Season 4, I believe, on DDoS. So I believe he did play mostly Ana, but it's exciting to see his Moira debut in Discord's here, and it's unfortunate that Sushi is having internet issues. He is a great player. He's a previous teammate of mine. I know that these are some issues that he has sometimes, but Battalion's doing a great job of, you know, trying to ignore the disadvantages and focusing up, and I mean, they haven't lost hope at all, and they're doing really well. They capped with almost 5 minutes on Anubis, so going into this defense here, Battalion's looking really good.
Yeah, it's good to see them bouncing back, but we get to see a Rein Zarya comp here from the Flying Lions, changing it up a bit. The Widow and the Somber, I think this comp, it definitely has potential, especially if you get some good anti-nades, but I think it's going to be a bit awkward not having a Mei or a Reaper to push into the Battalion's comp with, so I'm interested to see how Flying Lines are going to rotate here.
Oh, yeah, nice. Mudkip's gonna go down super early. A really nice kill from Star Platinum. That's gonna allow Flying Lines to push in really fast. Although Battalion still does have a lot of important members left. Normac does pick off Captain Cat. That's a lot of healing gone for the Flying Lions. And now the tanks of Flying Lions are falling extremely low without their Ana. Pumpkin does find GLD, although it's not enough to sway the fight. He is falling extremely low. PDK goes down to Star Platinum, and Normac goes down to Upsetting as well. This fight is not looking too good for Battalion, but if they can get back on the point and contest this once again, they do have a chance of winning. Upsetting, though, with 3 picks to save the fight for Flying Lions as soon as it was looking doomed. Upsetting already with his Widow ult, 3 picks.
Yeah, very back and forth fight, but Upsetting, you know, he just lived and he clicked some heads, so nice job there by Upsetting. Pretty much securing his team the cap there on first point. And now, Flying Lions, they have EMP. Mudkip's not even close because Star Platinum got a kill on him really early there. So, a fast engage with EMP, maybe an amp speed for Flying Lions, and it's looking like we're going to see a 5-minute time bank for them as well.
Maybe we will, and if Battalion pulls some miracle and is able to win this fight, it would be absolutely huge for momentum, but as you said, the Flying Lines are looking really good going to this fight. The EMP goes out, it's huge. 4 people EMP'd, but Pumpkin goes down. Captain Cat trades for Normac. Both teams' main tanks are gone, but it's more important for the Flying Lines to get a main tank, as Battalion just going to push so aggressively with the coalescence from PDK, and they are able to easily clean up after that huge EMP.
Yeah, I'm very surprised that Battalion won that fight, but that was a really good focus there on Pumpkin, maybe getting a bit too greedy when the EMP went off, and he just got bursted really fast by GLD on the Reaper. So nice execute there from Battalion. Now they're not going to stop the number to the Reinhardt. And PDK is off the Moira. He's on Ana, the DDoS special. Ooh.
I really do like this Ana pick. It can be absolutely huge versus the Brawl composition. Pumpkin now has a Shatter up and a huge Shatter. Does get missed down, does not get finished off. GLD with the Reaper ult though saves the fight. 3 picks, make that 4 for GLD. 5 for GLD, almost with the full 6k, but Star Platinum is able to translocate out, ruining the 6k clip, but what an absolutely massive fight from GLD there. 5 picks on Reaper. Yeah,
GLD doing very well in the past 2 fights, helping burst down Pumpkin when the EMP went off, and now killing 5. Very good showing here from GLD, and PDK on the Ana as well. I'm very surprised by what I'm seeing here from Battalion. But it's working out for them, and they have an EMP bomb for this next fight. I'm not sure if grab's going to be enough for Flying Lines to win.
Yeah, the EMP and the grab go out super early, and Flying Lines all fall super low. MB Compton and GLD both find 1 pick of their own, and Flying Lines are just pushed back all the way. Did not enough damage. Normac does charge, and Normac charges and touches the spawn door, which is a interesting strategy. I can admire that. Although the DPS of Flying Lines are live and getting picks, Upsetting is going to go down, and Flying Line's going to have to regroup fully after a nice trip to spawn door from Battalion.
Yeah, I really thought he pinned Z there for a second, but the bomb's still online for Battalion as well as the sound barrier. They're looking pretty good to hold on to this point, but we get to see an EMP on the side of Flying Lines. The ultimate's relatively the same minus the EMP, so if they get a good like nano rounding to EMP, Flying Lines can look good.
EMP goes out, catches 4, but Misthawk hides super smartly. Does get the beat off to keep his team up. The nanos go on to the respective Rhines. Normac falls really low, does not die though. And becoming the bomb to zone the point off is absolutely huge to force Flying Lines back. The shatter from Normac does bring down Greninja. Upsetting picks off GLD. The Reaper gone for Battalion is huge for Flying Lines to push the advantage, but Battalion does have the spawn advantage here. Pumpkin falls to the anti-native PDK. Mudkip gets a pick of his own, and Battalion just, you know, they recovered from playing Super Split. They used their ults smartly, and they finished off the fight as Greninja does win the Baby Diva duel.
Yeah. Oh, and a nice stagger there onto Greninja. But yeah, Battalion, they're just looking good in these fights where they know how to stabilize really well, and it's really showing so far on this map. But now the EMP is almost back online for Star Platinum after using it last fight, but Mudkip, he has his already, as Star Platinum's translocator is destroyed. He's going to struggle to farm up the rest of his EMP, and a nice EMP from Mudkip.
EMP goes out early from Mudkip, catches 5. Pumpkin goes down super early, and Battalion's not even going to have to use any other ults to clean up. Upsetting does kill GLD on point with the Reaper ult. Very interesting 2v6 here on point. The EMP goes out, and 2 picks from the Flying Lines might be enough, but MB Compton does pick off both DPS. Super interesting play there from Upsetting and Star Platinum. Almost worked, but Battalion was able to recover from their aggressiveness and finish them off and just prevent the point from being capped.
Yeah, I don't really like that commitment there from the Flying Lions, I'm going to be honest, but they still have a few ultimates going into this next fight. They have the Nano Boost, they have the beat, they almost have the beat, and they have the Shatter, so I'm just really hoping that one of these fights, Flying Lions can just take over tempo, like take over the tempo and control the game, because it seems like every time they try to hit W, they get bursted so fast.
Nanos go on to the respective Reinhardts. The Reaper ult comes out from GLD. He is going to get Shattered though, along with Mist. 1 tick each for the teams, but the point is being capped. The second tick goes to the Flying Lines. Normac almost at the Shatter. Could be absolutely huge to turn this fight, as it does turn into a 3v3. Flying Lines, though, do not have the advantage. Av Battalion do have their early spawns. The Flying Lines time is going to fall under a minute, and they're going to have to cap this quickly if they don't want a massive deficit.
Yeah, Battalion's just playing so aggressively that even if one of them dies, they have the better spawns, so it doesn't really matter as long as they kill one of the Flying Lines players, and they are doing that consistently, so really good execute here from Battalion on the defense. But now we're going to see a lot of ultimates here for Battalion as well. A nice hack on the Mudkip. Oh,
Oh,
my God.
nice hack shatter out from Battalion. The bomb comes out from MB Compton. The beat from Z, though, does do a good job of keeping the flying lines up. Star Platinum halfway to this EMP. If the flying lines wants to cap this point at all, they're going to need that EMP, and they are all also close to the nano.
Yeah, but Mudkip, he's holding so close with this EMP here. Battalion, they've been so aggressive so far in this defense. I think an early EMP might just end it here for flying lines with only 10 seconds left on the time bank.
Yeah, and Mist has this free beat here. I don't think Star Platinum has enough time in 10 seconds as Mudkip does go out with the EMP. It's absolutely huge. Normac goes down early. PDK does get upsetting though. The beat comes out to keep Battalion up. They are down 1. They do have the spawns, but Pumpkin with the big shatter takes down 3. Misthawk is going to be found by the charge, and Flying Lines do manage to cap in overtime. They aren't going to have a chance to attack and win, but they do have the chance to draw the map.
Yeah, good clutch there by the Flying Lions. And 4 minutes 40 seconds though, it's going to be very difficult to draw this one out if you're the Flying Lions, especially if Battalion just stick to their guns. If they play the Monkey or the Rhine with the Lucio and they just go really aggressive, I think it's going to be very difficult for Flying Lions to hold here. I'm hoping they bring out something different than what they did on their last defense, because their last defense, as shown by the time bank, didn't go great. So maybe a Widow or an Ash Mercy could help them a bit more here. Something to change it up a bit. And we get to see double shield! It's back!
Needle is very excited about this. It's been bothering us to play double shield in our own personal scrims and didn't agree with him really until lately, but he is excited to see the double shield as Anubis is a pretty popular, or sorry, was a pretty popular double shield map. One double shield was the meta, and you know, I mean, I can definitely see it working versus the dive composition of Battalion. You know, you got the Junkrat, which just outputs insane damage at close range. You got the Ash Mercy to make up for the Junkrat. The Junkrat's short range. You know, apply that direct damage. The big dynamites could be absolutely huge, because Battalion's going to go in just as one group. So, I mean, I could definitely see this composition working here.
Yeah, it's going to be very difficult for Battalion if they do not rotate and use their cooldowns effectively, because there is so much raw power in the double shield comp with Ash and Junkrat. You're just going to get bursted down so fast if you make the wrong move if you're Battalion here.
Yeah, and, I mean, even though this Flying Lions comp could work really well, if Battalion just waits and builds their ults, like even just 4 or 5 ults, it could be absolutely huge. Normac does go down early, does unfortunately jump into the trap. Flying Lines are forced off of high ground though. The immortality comes out from Z. That's big for Battalion. If they regroup quick, they can push in again without the immortality field being available, as it is 20 seconds away. And Compton does get demeched and killed though, which is going to force Battalion back for even longer. It was a good fight from Battalion, and honestly, I think the strat here is just to build your ults and go in all at once, because you only need to win one fight.
Yeah, definitely. If you're Battalion, you shouldn't be mad at all that you lost the first fight there. You shouldn't be expected to win the first fight. Got an early kill on Star Platinum here.
That's absolutely huge for Battalion, as they're going to get this high ground for free and be able to force all the Flying Lines back to point. Without the Ash, Flying Lines are just not going to have enough damage to finish off a lot of kills here, as Gildy is just going to reign completely free. The Valkyrie comes out from Captain Cat, and the Sigma ult does come out from Greninja. He's going to take down Miss. Gildy does find Captain Cat and Pumpkin. That's 3 pick for Battalion. Normac pops the Primal Rage to try to finish off the remaining members. Star Platinum switching to the Tracer to try to touch and contest, and Battalion's going to be able to easily clean up the last remaining members, taking Anubis and making the series 1-1.
Very great execute on both attack and defense there for Battalion. They just looked really good, but you know, double shield, I love to see it. The Twitch viewers, or I guess the YouTube viewers, this is a YouTube match, probably don't love to see double shield. You know, Orisa, Sleeper, Mercy Sleeper, all that, but I like to see double shield. I find it very unfortunate that it lost here, but you know, gotta credit Battalion. They got the early kill there, and they just snowballed really hard after that, just like they did on their first attack. Really good execute from Battalion, looking like an entirely different team than the first map. With PDK on the Moira now, which yeah, but I hate to meme it, because you know, he actually has played flex support before, and he's looking good on flex support this match.
He is looking good.
Yeah,
actually. He got really good value with his coalescences, and
yeah,
he's doing a really good job of making up for Sushi, who's unfortunately still having internet issues. But we will see if Sushi is able to rejoin Battalion after the halftime, which we are going to be jumping into shortly. Is anything else you saw of note here in Anubis Needle?
I like to see Battalion sticking to their guns that they did on the first point. Before they had a disconnection, they just stuck to the Reaper Sombra, and it worked out really well for them. So I like to see Flying Lions adapt as well. You know, going to double shield, trying to do something to change it up and beat Battalion. But if Battalion don't have any further internet issues, they're looking really good so far, and they're looking better than the Flying Lions so far on the Reaper Sombra. So.
All right. Well, thank you for tuning in for the first half of the Battalion Flying Lions match. We will see you after the short halftime.
Winners Club of Tranquility? I'm back! That's right, you thought I was done. You thought I was finished. Over. But it's gonna take a lot more than that to stop me. If you think that saving 10% is the tippy top of the mountain, I've got news for you, my friend. We're only halfway there. That's right, I'm here with some inside information. A Mr. Disrespect exclusive. Today, I'm gonna give you a deal on saving more than 10%. How about 20%? 25%, 30%. Mr. Disrespect, how is that even possible? Well, I'm gonna tell you. Right now, all month long, it's September at Twitch. All month long, if you subscribe to OW Tranquility Twitch channel, you save 20% on 1 month subscription, 25% off a 3-month subscription, and 30% off a 6-month subscription. That's right. Twitch runs a deal like this every September, so now is the perfect time to set your Tranquility subscription up on a 6-month cycle, and you'll be ready to save again when it comes time to renew again September of 2021. But mister, I'm still not sure if I should subscribe. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to personally select a winner from Tranquility subscribers at the end of this month, and I'm going to give away these right here. These Virtual Boy prototype glasses. Okay, they've got 4D IPS, 144p, 360 FPS, 5G technology inside, so don't miss out. One winner, a subscriber at the end of the month, is going to get these sweet glasses right here. Now, if you don't excuse me, I've got to go teabag Tim the Tat Man in Warzone. So, subscribe to OW Tranquility and save up to 30%.
Alright, welcome back everyone to the second half of the Flying Lines versus Battalion Discord tier game. So far, the series is tied up 1-1 with the Flying Lines taking map 1, which is Nepal, 2-0, and Battalion taking map 2, which is Anubis, 3-2. Going to this third map is going to be hybrid type, and the map is going to be Hollywood. What kind of comps do you expect to see here on Hollywood on attack or defense?
Well, when it comes to Battalion, I expect them to stick to the Somber Reaper. They've been playing that pretty much the entirety of this series so far, except when they had to play 5v6 on the second point in Nepal. So I think Battalion are just going to stick to their guns there. Their guns as in the 2 Reaper guns. But Flying Lions, I don't really know what I'm going to see from them, because we've seen a few different looks so far. We've seen the Somber Reaper, but at the same time they showed a flash of double shield on Anubis. Maybe that's something they just pulled out of desperation, trying to come up with something to counter Battalion's aggression. But so far we're seeing a Reinhardt comp here from the Flying Lions, and I don't entirely hate this comp. Crimson notably in as well. That's a swap. Cinnamon in as well. A few changes. Maybe this is what Flying Lions need to turn it around. And another change as well on the side of Battalion. Sushi is back in. No more PDK on Moira. So that's probably good for Battalion. Not that PDK is bad, it's just Sushi's an actual support player for them. So it's
Yeah,
good to see that they have their actual roster in for this map.
PDK still in, back on DPS though. He's going to be locking the Reaper, and we're going to see Flying Lines with a similar comp to Battalion, although instead of a Winston, they're going to go with a Reinhardt, and instead of a Moira, they're going to go with an Ana. So definitely interesting to see how that's going to turn out here. Battalion is going to be taking this high ground though super early. MB comp that does get hacked and falls super low though. Battalion though, just taking this slow, and then they're going to go in fast, controlling the high ground and forcing Flying Lines back.
Yeah, Battalion, they have so much space here. It's going to be very difficult for Flying Lines to get back into this fight.
Battalion pushing this aggressively. The members of Flying Lines are falling extremely low. Notably, Greninja is almost dead, or out of mech rather. Normac falls extremely low and gets antied. He is going to fall. It's going to make it exponentially difficult for Battalion to take this point here, as PDK does get Crimson. And even 5v5 around point, Pumpkin gets hacked. PDK finds the second pick of the fight. Captain Cat is going to use the sleep and the anti-nade, making her extremely vulnerable, as Battalion does get their second tick and continues to clean up the remaining members.
Yeah, nice attempt by Flying Lions to get back into that fight, but they were just forced to give up so much space early on that the fight was basically unwinnable by that point. But this next fight is very winnable for the Flying Lions. They have Nano Boost, they have EMP Shatter as well. I think the team that executes their ultimates first is probably going to win this next fight, because both teams have EMP, neither teams have Beat Drop, but we'll see how it goes here for the teams, as I expect a very aggressive hold from the Flying Lines, but they're looking like they're toning it back a little. I'm not entirely sure about this play.
Yeah, Battalion is taking the smart move here by taking the high ground. If they want to push, if Flying Lines want to contest that, they're going to have to go all the way to the elevator, or, send the lone Diva or the Sombra. But it's going to be really dangerous for them to contest that high ground. And as Star Platinum does initiate that fight with the EMP, Normac takes him down. Pumpkin does find another pick though, and the Flying Lines pushing so aggressively into that EMP works out so well for them. They're going to get so many early picks, capitalizing off of that, as well as the Nano. So that was a really successful play for Flying Lines, using 2 ults to win a huge fight.
Yeah, despite not having the high ground, Flying Lines winning that fight anyway with a nice EMP Shatter, but Battalion, they're already back in with their ultimates, going in really aggressively here.
Yeah, Battalion going so aggressive. The bomb comes out, doesn't catch anything though. PDK does find Pumpkin. No main tank makes it free for the DPS of Battalion to basically just rain terror on Flying Lines. Cinnamon falls, which removes the main healer for Flying Lines, and they're going to be forced to regroup all the way in their spawn. Battalion winning that fight with only Diva Bomb. Absolutely huge.
Yeah, that is actually very massive, as they still have EMP and Beat Drop and pretty much everything now, which is, it's looking really good for Battalion to win this next fight in Cap B as well. Crimson taking down the staggers here, coming out for Battalion, as they're holding the spawn, and Sushi's orb is going off, man. You got 2.
Yeah, forget the internet. The orb gets 2 picks for Battalion that fight. Flying Lions can't even push in. Although they do have a lot of ultimates, both teams almost at 5 ultimates here. It's going to be a really interesting fight to see who uses their ultimates first.
Yeah, definitely, but with the EMP, Battalion are looking really good to win this, and they get the early EMP, and it hits Z as well. There's pretty much nothing Flying Lions can do now. They desperately try to touch the point. PDK blossoming in the spawn, but it doesn't really matter. The cart is all but capped here on B for Battalion.
And Normac getting 2 big primal kills at the end of the fight there to clean up. And Sushi, Mudkip, PDK all popping their ultimates. That's 4 ultimates to win the fight there, which, you know, might be bad, might be not, but Flying Lions is going to go into this next fight with a lot of ultimates.
Oh, PDK slept and Mudkip's hacked up. Nice kill there from the Flying Lions, who have a lot of ultimates for this next fight. Almost 6 online. Probably only need to use a few, and they could get a good ult cycle going here. With Mudkip already out of the fight. The high ground now being taken by the Flying Lions Battalion. Misthawk hacked now. They're going to be forced to back out here, down 2 players.
Misthawk is taken down really early, which is going to remove the beat and basically make it so Flying Lions can use whatever ultimates they want in the fight here, pretty much, until Misthawk does get back. Crimson positioning here for the super sneaky Reaper ult, though. This could be absolutely huge. The EMP comes out as well as the bomb. 2 picks for Greninja from the bomb. Huge. Taking down Misthawk and Sushi. No support for Battalion going into that fight. MB Compton does get the mech. Crimson takes down his counter Reaper. And Flying Lions wins that fight with a very, very nicely executed EMP bomb.
Yeah, nice play there by the Flying Lions, but Mudkip still has the EMP online. If he can get in a good position where he can, he gets a nice hack here onto the enemy Sombra, being pressured out now, and he's gonna go really aggressive with his EMP here. Oh, this is gonna be big for Battalion.
The Star Platinum almost taken down there, but Greninja with a really nice DM. But Battalion with so much space here to work with. They've got EMP, they've got Bomb, and they've got Reaper Roll. It could be so massacred. Crimson drops the Reaper Roll, but a really nice DM is going to take him down, not allow him to do any damage. The beat comes out for Battalion to keep the team up. The EMP finds 5. MB Compton doesn't quite finish off any with the Bomb, but PDK with the Reaper Roll in the backline of Flying Lions going to take down Z. Battalion just really pushing this card with no one even touched. Star Platinum does manage to get the touch off. Falls extremely low as Suchi does pop the Coalescence to finally finish off this fight. Battalion should be able to cap all 3 points of Hollywood with 2 minutes and 38 seconds remaining.
And that was a very smart play there by Mudkip. He didn't use the EMP like I thought he was going to, because, you know, this guy's big brain. He knows that Flying Lions, their only chance to turn around the fight is with their sound barrier. And so he's like, okay, well, they can't even use sound barrier until I EMP. So he just waits until the sound barrier comes out, and then he negates the sound barrier and gets 5 with the EMP. That was a really smart play there by Mudkip. Battalion just looking so good these past 2 maps on their offense, and looking even better on this offense when they have Sushi in, and he's not having internet issues. So really, really nice play there by Battalion, but some good fights there from Flying Lions as well. Their ult economy, I'd say, was pretty good. They definitely wasted a few ultimates here and there. But they got some nice fight wins and some nice combos off, so Flying Lions definitely not out of it yet. They could get a good attack here, but they do look to be making a few changes. Star Platinum no longer on the Sombra, now looking to play the Mei. I imagine Pumpkin's going to stay on the Rhine, and it's going to be... We might see a similar time bank here for the Flying Lions. I think this is a really nice point to attack in this current meta, especially when you're playing the Winston. Flying Lions not playing the Winston. But you can get a nice snowball and a nice ultimate cycle and easily cap all 3 points here if you're Flying Lions.
Yeah, if you play this correctly as Battalion, with this composition, you basically, you hide, you split, and then you go all in at one target at the choke there. It could be so deadly for the Flying Lions, but it's really hard to execute it correctly. But if done well, is pretty much almost unstoppable without a lot of ults. So it's going to be interesting to see how it goes here. Flying Lions taking the side approach though, pushing point extremely fast. Going to be taking this high ground from Battalion, really smart move from them. The wall comes out, it does split off Sushi from the rest of the team, but he is easily able to get around it. Just a lot of poking going on here in the high ground. No picks found yet, although Pumpkin does go down. That's huge pick for Battalion. Battalion's going to be able to pretty much freely take this high ground back without the Reinhardt from the Flying Lions. And they are going to do exactly that.
Yeah, really good re-aggress there from Battalion. Something they've been doing well this whole series so far. And a nice punish as well. There's no more Reinhardt. Battalion cleanup, get a lot of ultimate charge there with Normac getting 4 final blows. Nice job, nice fight there by Battalion, you know. They did what Flying Lions could not do on their defense. Flying Lions, they gave up that high ground and really struggled to get back in after they gave it up on their first point defense. But Battalion, they come back in, they retake the high ground because they know they needed to win the first fight. So really smart play there from Battalion, who now have the early Reaper ult, which could be really massive for them here, with no Diva on the side of Flying Lions.
Yeah, the Reaper ult is going to get completely uncontested, as well as Sushi with this Coalescence here. Does pop at the beginning of the fight. PDK does get the Reaper ult up, falls extremely low. He's forced to Wraith out. gets his health back, and the Reaper ult does come out from PDK. Gets 3 before Pumpkin with the Shatter does take down multiple members of Battalion. 3 fall, 3 picks for each. Misthawk and Mudkip do. Misthawk and Mudkip though do get 1 pick each. Misthawk getting 2 final blows there at the end to save the fight, but absolutely massive ult. Pumpkin takes down 3 with the Shatter, and PDK takes down 3 with the Reaper ult. A really good trade for Battalion though, as they did win the fight.
Yeah, good trade, but they have the longer spawn, so Flying Lions are going to be taking a lot of space here. They have the Grab and the Blizzard Witch. They might even combo together here to just secure this first point.
Yeah, it's going to be all up to MB Compton to try to negate one or both of these ults here, as Flying Lions does push the same high ground again. The Blizzard comes out, it is going to get not eaten, and it does catch multiple members of Battalion. Normac goes down super early, the beat goes out from Misthawk to keep the team up. The bomb comes out from MB Compton, and it's huge. It takes on both tanks from the Flying Lions, and now Battalion can just freely push into the rest of the remaining members, and they are going to be able to win this fight.
Yeah, another time where Battalion are just looking really good stabilizing in these fights, you know, despite losing players early or having to give up some space. They always come back, but they did have to use a lot of ultimates to do it there. They used their beat and their EMP, and the Grav still online for the Flying Lions. Unless it gets eaten up by MB Compton, this Grav should get a lot of value here.
You've got the Reaper ult to follow up on it, and you know, just Reinhardt in general is really good at following up and grab. But so many ults push out at once. The beat comes out from their Flying Lions to keep the team up, as the Coalescence from Sushi does come out. The Primal Rage from Normac though to keep himself up. Pumpkin OW goes down early though. Sushi gets a pick on a Cinnamon, and without a main healer and without a Reinhardt, Flying Lions should not be able to win this fight, and they are going to get cleaned up.
Yeah, the Flying Lions still have no answer to the aggression of Battalion. You know, they had the Zarya, and he's had the Grab for a while, but it's so difficult for him to use it, because if he doesn't have high energy, he's not going to be able to follow up well into his Grab. And it's so hard for him to get high energy, because Battalion engage immediately every fight, so just really good engages from Battalion, who almost have a lot of their ultimates back online now. And we're going to see a new rotate here from the Flying Lions. I'm not entirely sure about this one, but with how many ultimates they have, it's going to be hard for them to lose this fight.
Yeah, as long as they get both this Grab and this Blizzard off, Flying Lions should have no problem winning this fight. The Blizzard and the Grab come out. PDK with the Reaper ult does get Star Platinum early. The Shatter unfortunately does not connect, although the Grab and Blizzard are too much for the members of Battalion. The EMP comes out as well as the bomb. A huge bubble though from Greninja stops Pumpkin from getting hacked. He is going to live, and just still a brawl on point with just MB Compton remaining, and Flying Lions do manage to cap point 1 of Hollywood in overtime.
Yeah, but it took them a lot to do it, Chim. Flying Lions have nothing left in the ult bank, but they are still in the map, so, you know, probably was worth it for them there. But we're looking at Battalion are in a good position to hold really aggressively here like they did on first point. That's what they're looking to do, being on this top high ground. They're probably just going to go in with a Coalescence here and get a nice easy fight win with it.
Yeah, and at such a disadvantage here, the Flying Lions, that, you know, they could win every fight, and they could barely be able to match Battalion's time here. The Coalescence does come out, as well as the beat to keep the team up. Star Platinum does find Sushi in the backline, freezes him and stops the Coalescence, finds the pick, but without their Mei, Battalion is just free to rampage through the Flying Lions, and that's exactly what they do, winning this fight pretty much with ease.
Yeah, that was a good execute from Battalion, what we've been seeing pretty much the whole night, but they did have to use both support ultimates to do it, so the ultimates, they're going to be coming back online after their 6 ultimate commit, the Flying Lions. They have the support ultimates ready, and that might be enough for them to win this fight.
Normac goes in super deep with this Primal Rage, just trying to force Flying Lions back, but he's melted so fast. Cinnamon with the Coalescence, but a big Earth Shatter from Pumpkin is going to take down 3 members of Battalion, finding 2 picks for himself. Flying Lions going to continue to push this cart, barely, although they do manage to push it into halfway through point 2.
Yeah, Greninja on the Zarya is going to be getting more and more value the more fights that the Flying Lions win, because he's going to be maintaining his energy here. He has the Graviton Surge back online, ultimate that he used to help secure the cap on point 1. But the EMP is here from Mudkip. I don't know how smart he's going to be with it, if he's going to catch Z or not, but an early Blizzard here from Star Platinum.
If PDK does pick off Star Platinum early though, Greninja's gonna fall as well. That's so much damage gone. The Mei and the Zarya. And the remaining members of Flying Lions are just gonna crumble. It's just the Moira and Lucia left on point as they try to get out.
Yeah, Battalion taking advantage of the 5v6 with Z forced to be on point, you know, the objective. You have to push the objective if you're Flying Lions. This is how the game is played. So a very good punish there by Battalion. But now a good punish here from Flying Lions as Mudkip is taken down early.
Mudkip goes down early. That's huge for Flying Lions. The EMP is not going to be available for the Diva Bomb or the Reaper Roll combo. Support ults go out from Battalion, and PDK's death pulse is absolutely huge. He's going to take down Star Platinum. MB comes in with the 2k bomb though. PDK finds 3 picks of his own, and Flying Lions are going to have to touch this point extremely fast if they're even able to. Multiple ults though on the board. Could be a winnable fight if they're able to touch, which I'm not sure if they can.
Yeah, I believe Crimson disconnected at the tail end of that as well. So very good aggression from Battalion. You know, these past 2 maps they've looked very good on the attack and even on the defense with just the raw aggression. They're playing the Reaper Somber how it's supposed to be played, and it's really fun to watch. Really good execution from Battalion, but Flying Lions, you know, just a few too many mistakes there, and they struggled to cap point 1, point 2. Their ult economy could use a little work, but overall, it's just I'd say this is less Flying Lions playing bad and Battalion just playing pretty well so far in this series, especially on the Somber Reaper. But as we head into Junkertown now, this could definitely be a different story. I don't think that Junkertown favors Somber Reaper an insane amount. I definitely think it can favor other comps like Bastion, Double Shield, which we saw a flash of on Anubis. So this might be the map pick that Flying Lions need to turn this around here.
Yeah, and on this map, it's pretty well known that hit scans reign supreme. So I'm really excited to see pretty much the battle of the snipers. We've got, you know, GLD from the side of Battalion, who is well known for its hit scan play, especially Ashe and Widow. We've got Upsetting from the side of Flying Lions, who is now subbed back into the match, well known for his Widow play as well. And I'm very excited to see a different look from the Somber Reaper, and especially this Widow duel, which is going to be so impactful here going into this map. And starting out, we do see some interesting comps. I assume that Battalion's going to switch off these supports, but they do lock the Widow at the beginning as well as Upsetting, so could be really exciting as long as both Widows do stay.
Yeah, I love me some Zen Brig. You know, I would love to see Zen Brig. Probably, yeah, like you said, probably not what we're going to see. But, you know, just maybe, Battalion aren't baiting us here. But in all honesty, they probably are. But the Somber Widow setup here for Flying Lions, I really like this composition. It's pretty strong, but there is no Ana on the side of Battalion. They are opting in for the Zen here. We'll see how that turns out for them. It's going to be very difficult for Norma. Oh, nice kill from Upsetting.
Upsetting with a really nice shot into Sushi. Shuts them down immediately. And now we do get to see this Widow do though. PDK on the Widow and GLD on the Ashe. The double sniper out from Battalion. Interesting look here from them.
Yeah, definitely. It's gonna be. I imagine PDK is gonna swap. The opts not to. A lot of damage here from Battalion. That's what they've got going for them. They have the Zen as well as the double sniper. They're just looking to pressure out Flying Lions so hard, but Upsetting is pressuring them harder.
Upsetting gets a really nice pick on a GLD. That's pretty much, I think, 2 out of the 3 first kills are from Upsetting's Widow, and he's just been so huge here, not even allowing Battalion to take any space to begin with.
As he just flails around after getting another successful headshot. But no ultimates online so far, as these teams are just taking really long poke fights. These poor Winstons don't really get to play Overwatch yet, with just the long-range sniper battles deciding these fights so far.
Normac is going to go down though. He dives a little bit deep. The Zen Mercy, a support line is just so hard to go in with as tanks. You know, you don't have a lot of sustain, but you know, the advantages from it, the Mercy damage boost could be huge for the Ashe, as the Mercy does go down to the sites of Upsetting. And the Zen is so big. You've got so much damage from the Zen, just primary fire and secondary fire, and you got the Discord Orb, which makes it super easy to focus targets, and you know, it just outputs so much damage there, especially the Transcendence suits another pro of having the Zen.
Yeah, definitely, but Sushi takes down Upsetting with a 5-ward kill. Really good engage here, but the Nano Winston is in the back line. Who's gonna stop him?
Yeah, Sushi pops the Transcendence to keep the team up, which is huge. Normac does finish off Pumpkin. Battalion now, finally, with this opening, able to push up aggressively. Although the sights are popped on both sides. PDK goes for the aggressive hook shot, doesn't quite find Upsetting. Upsetting now has the help of his Diva and Mercy, picks off Sushi, and Battalion is not looking too good here in this fight anymore. Mistalk does manage to get the res, but Mistalk himself gets taken down by Upsetting, who is on the flank here. in the Mega Room. Upsetting is going to manage to get out. Actually does get picked up by PDK in the end, but has done his job with 2 picks there before his death.
Yeah, this fight is going very back and forth so far. I'm not entirely sure why Battalion are holding so closely here, and it's not working out well for them at all in this fight.
Yeah, Flying Lines with a free recontest here, not even going to have to use any ults. Upsetting with a really nice pick on the PDK. Greninja takes down GLD, and both DPS are gone for Battalion. It's just going to be Sushi left here, who is about to take down Pumpkin, but is finished off by Star Platinum. And if you look at the ults across the board here, we see a major, major difference.
Yeah, no ult for Normac, as unfortunately he's disconnected, but he's back again. But a lot of ultimates for Flying Lions, almost 5 online. It's going to be very difficult for Battalion. You know, even if they have 2 fights, as long as Flying Lions don't blow a lot of ultimates in this next fight, they're looking really good to hold on point A.
Yeah, and I think an EMP bomb is what we're about to see, which is what we do. Greninja finds Sushi, but with 2 big ults there, only 1 tick to show for it. Nano goes after the Sombra, Z falls down. No Ana for Flying Lions actually could be big for the side of Battalion, as they do go up 1 more member. PDK takes down Upsetting on the Tracer. GLD does throw out the Bob, which manages to take down Cinnamon, and Battalion looks so good here to finally finish off this point 1 of Dunktown.
Yeah, I'm very surprised that Battalion won that fight. Maybe a bit of blunder from the Flying Lions, I'm not entirely sure, but Battalion, they're definitely looking a lot better with PDK off the Widow now. Not that he's bad at Widow, it's just having a Tracer really helps this comp a lot. It's much more self-sustaining than the Widow here, and it can cause a lot of pressure onto the supports of Flying Lines. So I really like the Tracer pick here. And now the ultimates, they're favoring Battalion now, as they have the Transcendence, they have the Primal Rage, but Normac is hacked and he's dead. Oh no.
And we come with the bomb to try to save the fight, doesn't quite find anything. Battalion's gonna have to probably fall back to regroup their Winston, but Flying Lines is not pushing the advantage here. Star Platinum falls, it's now an even 5v5. Very interesting hold here from the Flying Lions here on point 2. PDK goes for the stick and finds Cinnamon though, as Cinnamon tries to res. Really big brain play there from PDK. Once again with the advantage in the fight.
Yeah, Battalion, they're looking so much better when they can aggress here, but a nice EP from Star Platinum and an attempt to stabilize the fight here for the Flying Lions, but it's not going to be enough as Z goes down, Upsetting goes down as well. Battalion, they are looking quite good on this attack after a little bit of a struggle on first point.
Both support ults back up for Battalion. Flying Lines choosing not to touch this point. Pretty smart from them. They don't want to get staggered and they want to take this close fight. Though a nice pick from GLD is going to take down Star Platinum and force Flying Lines back.
Yeah, and a lot of ultimates still online here for Battalion. The Valk comes out. GLD is standing still. Maybe some connection issues here. But Pumpkin is caught out here. Does manage to escape.
Thankfully, GLD does not disconnect from the game, and Misthawk is able to pop the Valkyrie, allowing Battalion to push up super aggressively. All those heals make up for the Zen Mercy heal support line with the Valkyrie there. And still with ults from Battalion, they've taken so much space and they're able to just continuously push. They've got the threat of these ultimates. Although Misthawk does go down early, which is huge. Both supports down actually for the side of Battalion. Although Sushi takes on Pumpkin with them, Upsetting goes down at PDK. The Pulse Bomb comes out, doesn't find anything, and Flying Line's finally pushing this advantage.
Yeah, these fights are very back and forth, all over the place, and Normac is going in with the Primal now. He's antied, he's slept, and he's trying to escape desperately with his life, and he does manage to do so. Battalion, it's gonna take them a little bit to stabilize here with their low healing, but Sushi decides to use the Transcendence.
Big bomb from Greninja is not going to find anything, although Sushi does pop the Transcendence. The Bob comes out from GLD, does take down Pumpkin. That's actually huge for Battalion. GLD is now going to be free to do whatever he wants without the Winston pressuring him and without the shield there.
Very true. And Pumpkin going in with the bomb in the enemy spawn forces Greninja to go forward. He's probably going to lose his mech here. A nice play there by Battalion.
Greninja unfortunately does not lose his mech there, and Compton goes deep into the enemy backline as PDK does pick off Star Platinum, who has made the switch onto the Tracer. Sushi falls to the sights of Z. PDK with 3 kills this fight so far, almost takes down Upsetting. He's got the Pulse Bomb back up for this recontest. A 4th pick, looking for the Pulse Bomb maybe onto Cinnamon. Cinnamon in the Valkyrie could be huge. A nice stick though onto Pumpkin. 5 kills for PDK so far in this recontest here. Cinnamon does not get the res off. 6 picks for PDK so far. Valkyrie comes out from Mist to keep Battalion up, which is huge for them. Makes up for the healing, the lack of healing. Normac takes down 1 with his Primal Rage. Bob comes out from Upsetting to try to stall the point, although Normac knocks him off the point. Battalion continues to move the cart, and Pumpkin almost C9s, but pops the Primal Rage to get back. and Cinnamon falls extremely low. Normac falls extremely low. This fight just continuously going on point. The Transcendence, though, from Sushi does manage to save Normac from dying, and MB Compton's bomb forces the Flying Lions off a point long enough to cap Junkertown with 45 seconds remaining.
Yeah, smart bomb there by MB Compton. PDK on the Tracer has looked insane. Insane so far this map. He did so much damage on second and third point there, as well as first point. Helped secure his team, cap the first point after they struggled for the first 3 minutes. Really good attack from Battalion. You know, okay, I wouldn't say entirely fairly good, but really good after point 1. You know, they struggled a bit on point 1. They made the adaptations they needed to make. They put PDK on the Tracer, and then they started to get their momentum rolling again, which they've shown to perform really well once they gain some momentum so far this series. On Anubis, they won their both attack fights in a row, had 4 minutes 40 seconds. On Hollywood, they had a sizable time bank as well. Battalion are looking really good when they have 6 players so far, but unfortunately they're back down to 5 at the moment with GLD disconnecting.
Yes, unfortunately, Battalion is having a map 1 flashback, and they are forced to take this first part of defense 5v6. We hope GLD is able to rejoin, but so far, as you mentioned, Battalion played extremely well on that attack, especially on that second and third points. I would have to count again, but I think PDK got 6k or 7k, I'm not sure, but so many picks to secure that third point cap there, and I mean, during this 5v6, I'm excited to see what they can offer. I'm hoping that they are successful here. As PDK goes down, it's going to be a 4v6 from the get-go. The resurrection does come out, though, for Mist, as Flying Lions take this aggressive dive onto the high ground.
Yeah, it's just so difficult for Battalion here. GLD was their long-range hit-scan player in the last round, but now PDK, no longer on the Tracer, is forced onto the Ash to try to make this 5v6 composition work. They played the Roadhog in the Pharmacy on point 1, which they can't really do again, but Battalion, they're just doing their best. They take out the Ana, and they're pressuring down the Widow as well here of Flying Lions, but it is very difficult for them to win 5v6 here.
Both supports go down early for Battalion, and that's pretty much the fight there. It's going to be a 3v6 without your supports, and without your supports you can't get healed, and you can't get the damage boost, you can't get the res, so Battalion just forced to regroup. Although going into every fight with a disadvantage, losing your supports is probably the biggest one.
Yeah, definitely. No notable ultimates. GLD's back! He's back. Perhaps we get to see PDK swap onto the Tracer here. Maybe a desperation recontest, but Upsetting takes out MB Compton in the Baby Diva.
Yeah, Normac there on the point just to stall for a second. Sushi and Mist are left. If the Flying Lions could push these staggers, it could be absolutely huge, but now that GLD is back on the Reaper, they're going to play it safe, and they don't want to dive that Reaper.
Yeah, definitely not, but not exactly the best composition for Battalion here. They looked much better when they were playing the Ash Tracer with PDK on the Tracer on their attack. But we'll see if they can make this work. There are a lot of ultimates up on the side of Flying Lions as they won the first 2 fights pretty handily, 6v5.
The sights come out from Upsetting pretty early. A nice pick on the GLD, though, is going to take down a lot of damage. The tanks of Flying Lions are going to be able to push them pretty aggressively without the Reaper there, and they should be able to push this advantage with Mist down. They should be able to pick off Sushi and finish off this fight, as Star Platinum does receive the Nano boost.
Yeah, and Star Platinum going in hard with the Nano here. A lot of ultimates on the side of Normac is still in. He's still on the Primal. He's still in, stalling at the point for a long time, but I don't think his team's going to be able to recontest. But going into third point, a very massive time bank for the Flying Lions. I believe they're going to be they're going to end up capping with around 6 minutes going into third. That's a massive time back, and Normac is now switching over to the Wrecking Ball. A desperation attempt from GLD. Actually, we're going to see a retest here from Battalion.
And Normac on the Wrecking Ball is able to touch point. The Transcendence and Bob do go out. Battalion actually have a chance to win this fight. GLD does get res. Greninja with the pick on the Baby MD Compton. PDK does pick off Upsetting, but Flying Lions do manage to cap. They cap point 2. Battalion gets off the point for just a second, and Flying Lions are able to push it past just that 1 remaining meter.
Yeah, I was already setting up for third point by analysis, but Battalion did try to go back in there. Didn't work out too well for them. They did force out a few ultimates, but it cost them some of their ultimates of their own. But oh, I see. They were swapping anyway. That was a smart play by them. They used the Valkyrie and the Transcendence, but they're switching supports now. So now they're on the Moira Lucio. They're on the Reaper Sombra, which worked really well for them throughout the majority of the series. So this is going to be a look we've seen before from Battalion that's already working out well for them here.
Yeah, playing so aggressively, just getting so many early picks. Upsetting and C separate from the rest of the Flying Lions are going to get picked off by this ultra aggressive comp here, and Flying Lions going to be forced to regroup. Cinnamon staggered late, which is big for Battalion's defense here.
Yep, very good for Battalion, swapping off and stabilizing a bit here after a brutal beating on the first 2 points of Junkertown, the first of which being 5v6. But there are a few ultimates here for Flying Lions, which I think they could use really well to win this next fight, but Upsetting, he's being pressured down so hard, he's on 2 HP, and he manages to barely get out there. But Cinnamon, she has the Nano Boost. The Nano Boost on the Pumpkin could be massive here for the Flying Lions.
Emicumpin with the bomb could be big. Star Platinum does go out with the Reaper ult immediately, and the Nano Boost picks off Misthawk. 2 picks for Star Platinum in that fight. Upsetting takes down the head of Sushi. Emicumpin demeched. And Battalion's gonna have to regroup all the way in spawn. They're gonna have 1 remaining fight with 2 DPS ults almost, and MB Compton's bomb.
Yeah, some nice ultimate uses there from the Flying Lions, but there are a lot of ultimates on the side of Battalion. PDK, he's almost at that EMP. If he can build the rest of that up, Battalion are looking really good for a recontest.
Yeah, the EMP Reaper ult could be absolutely huge here, as PDK is just getting beat up by the Primal Monkey, who falls extremely low, almost dies there. But Pumpkin does manage to get back to the point. The EMP goes out, catches 4. There's no follow-up ultimate though. MB Compton does finally launch the bomb, picks off 2, and the Mextra Ninja. Huge bomb there from MB Compton. The Coalescence as well from Sushi is popped to finish off the rest of Flying Lions and keep up Battalion in a really nice fight there.
Yeah, that was a pretty good turnaround there by Battalion. Holding out until PDK gets that EMP and then going in off it. That was a really good play. But there are still 3 minutes left on the time bank here for Flying Lions. Not too sure about that engage, but they have so much time to build up their ultimates, and all they need is 1 fight. Upsetting now swapping over to the Genji. A Nano Blade is going to be hard to deny if you're Battalion. Obviously, you have the sound barrier, but it might get forced. You know, if Flying Lions commit a lot of ultimates, Mist might be forced to use sound barrier even when he doesn't want to.
Yeah, Genji's going to be really hard to play in this Reaper Sombra comp. I mean, they've got the Winston, who by default ignores your deflect, and Flying Lions taking this aggressive approach. Normac falls early, even after the GLD Reaper ult. Both monkeys now traded. Just the beat up for the Battalion, as Normac's ultimate is going to not be available until they get back from spawn. The Nano now up for Cinnamon. They're going to have to wait for Upsetting to build that blade though, if they want the most use out of it.
Yeah, that is true, but Cinnamon might opt in to just nanoing their Reaper as they have thus far, but you're gonna see the beat coming out from Z in the backline. I don't believe anybody else got that beat.
Ninja with the early bomb picks off Gildy and Miss. The EMP though from PDK trying to save the fight. 4 picks for the Flying Lions. They're gonna be able to push this card even further. MB Compton D-Mech gonna be taken out fairly easily here. PDK left alive actually. Star Platinum not finishing him off, but finally finished off. Mist able to touch the point. A nice beat though. Star Platinum though is able to out damage it with the Reaper ult. The blade coming up from Upsetting to finish off the remaining stallers. Although Normac on this ball is stalling for so long, and Sushi now with the Coalescence able to keep up MB Compton to stall for even longer. Cinnamon now with the Nano Boost though, it could be able to turn this fight. Star Platinum is going to receive the Nano Boost. The bomb from MB Compton doesn't quite find anything, but is really good for the stall here.
Yeah, nice execute from Flying Lions at the beginning of this fight, and they have all their ultimates to help on the cleanup here, as Battalion just are desperately trying to stall this out as long as they can, try to burn down that time bank for the Flying Lions just a little bit, as they've I imagine they've just accepted that they're going to a next round now, but maybe not, as GLD and PDK are doing their best to come back in here. GLD with a Reaper ult as well. Unfortunately for Battalion, does not catch anything, and this point is all but capped, but who knows, man. Normac keeps coming in on the ball, and he's lasting so long. The stall is lasting so long for Battalion. I don't really know what's going on anymore. Star Platinum, he has the Reaper ult. That might be just the finishing note here for Flying Lions, and it is. Okay, it is. Okay, it is. It's finally over. Whew.
Star Platinum finding 4 there at the end of the stall, and 5 if you count the post-round kill, but a really nice push there from the Flying Lions. A really nice hold though from Battalion. Flying Lions starting that third point with, was it 5 minutes, 5.5 minutes, and you know, Battalion just able to hold for so long and stall for so long, and now they have 27 seconds more than Flying Lions, even though Flying Lions started the third point with 5.5 minutes.
Yeah, very good showing from Battalion. Like you mentioned, they burned a lot of time there from the Flying Lions bank after their snowball from first to second point. But now we get to see double shield potentially from nope, maybe not. I don't know. Flying Lions are still in spawn. We don't know exactly what they're gonna play, but what we're seeing from Battalion, this is a bit interesting. Okay, the Reinhardt on Junkertown? Okay, I kind of understand it since they're going in for the brawl, but the Tracer with this comp, I don't entirely understand it, and this comp really doesn't make sense to me if they're not holding close. So, and I'm not entirely sure if they are or not. It doesn't entirely look like they are. Oh, okay, they are. They are holding close. So this comp is definitely going to be interesting from Battalion. It really plays to their strengths of just the raw aggression that they've shown so far. But
Normac, yeah.
Oh no!
Normac accidentally falls off the map, which I assume is related to lag, and that's just absolutely tragic. Battalion had such a good hold going in here. MB Compton, I'm not sure if he lagged out as well and just stood still, or if he just accepted his fate, but he does get demeched early, and Battalion goes into this 4v6. They are going to have to reset. Normac does disconnect, able to reconnect though. That's just absolutely tragic. Battalion had such a nice close hold. You know, they probably would have been able to beat this Bastion comp with the D.Va and the Reinhardt and just speeding in. But it's just sad for Battalion. It's unfortunate.
Very unfortunate, as they make some adaptations now. Sushi going onto the Ana, going to be a bit more effective against the Bastion comp, as Battalion look to recontest here.
Battalion with the recontest here, not going to be able to find much. MB Compton is demeched as Normac falls to 1 HP. Z finishes Normac off. GLD finds Star Platinum, but it's not enough for Battalion here, as PDK does attempt to get his mines after death onto the members of Flying Lions. Cinnamon with the res on a pumpkin is pretty much going to secure this point for the Flying Lions.
Yeah, nice attempt by Miss there at zoning the Bastion, going in hard, but nothing much you can do there if you're Battalion. The Bastion comp is going to be really strong, and a nice execute from the Flying Lions as well. As they have a lot of ultimates going into this next fight, almost 6 ultimates online. They're looking good for a snowball in overtime, so we may see a 6-3 scoreline here for this map if Flying Lions manage their ultimates well.
Bastional comes out super early, which I'm not sure if it was a misclick or maybe I think Upsetting was trying to parkour himself up at that high ground, but not much found with that Bastion ult. That's actually huge for Battalion to push onto with that momentum. They don't have any ults. They actually do finally build the Riptire. Almost 4 ults though. The Riptire does come out early. There is immortality, but it doesn't catch Upsetting, and Upsetting is going to get caught. PDK with 2 kicks there onto the Flying Lions. Greninja falls extremely low. The Sigil almost enough to finish off the members of Flying Lions. Star Platinum though. The Reaper ult is able to secure the fight. Upsetting does get rezzed, and Z uses the Amplification Matrix as well, and Flying Lions are going to be able to cap point too.
Yeah, Star Platinum clutching out that fight with some early kills, with some nice kills and their ultimates. So really good tournament there from the Flying Lions. And now Normac is on the Sigma. I imagine he must have been on their last fight for him to have this much ult charge. I didn't notice it though. But we have the Nano Blossom on the side of Battalion. That might be just all they need to stop this snowball. And they're going in aggressively with the Sound Barrier. I like this engage.
The Sound Barrier pop, GLD can just freely go in with that Reaper ult. Takes down the Immortality, takes down the Bongo, takes down Pumpkin, and Battalion with pretty much control of this cart. Both tanks are going to fall for the Flying Lions, and 2 picks apiece for the DPS of Battalion. The bomb comes out to finish off the remaining members, and Battalion is going to stop Flying Lions at the beginning of point 3 with 1 minute 27 on their own attack.
Yeah, very unfortunate first point with Normac having connection issues and running off the map when Battalion were attempting a close hold. It gave Flying Lions a lot of ultimates, which they used pretty well to push the cart all the way to the 18 meters into that third point. A very smart play by Battalion, setting themselves up for this next round by getting that aggressive fight there with the beat, with the Reaper ult, with the Nano. I really like that last engage that we saw from Battalion in that last fight, and it's setting them up to have a chance on this attack. Despite having a low time bank, they don't have to push the cart that far into third because they took that early fight, that might be the difference maker for them here, as they are showing a bunker comp, which I'm not entirely sure if it gets countered by this May Reaper brawl comps with a spawn hold or not, because we didn't get to see the spawn hold because Normac disconnected on the defense of Battalion. But we'll see how the spawn hold works out for them here. The May, notably on the side of Flying Lines, is going to be very important, as a wall in the first spawn door, which is one of the only 2 doors you can get out of, can be massive.
Yeah, this close hold here by the Flying Lions could be deadly, but Battalion looks like they were ready for it, and they set up the Torb and Bastion to take down the shields. They do rotate around, which is so smart. The Bastion can get so much value. Start Platinum walls them off so the Flying Lions can get close. PDK is going to get charged off the map, and actually Pumpkin takes down both DPS. Sends them flying over the edge of the cliff, and Battalion still, though, even though they're down their DPS, are able to get some picks here and able to control the cart.
Killing 2 is great and all, but if you're Flying Lines, now you've lost your main tank. How are you going to continue the spawn hold? You can't! The faster spawns just come out for Battalion, and now they've got the pirate ship all set up with the Bastion, with the Torbjorn turret. It's going to be very difficult for Flying Lines going to break this. They don't have a D.Va or a Sigma to eat the damage of the Bastion. They don't have an Ana to get the anti-grenades on the Bastion. They don't have an Immort to help sustain them in the fight when they jump on the Bastion. So it's going to be a bit difficult here for the Flying Lions to get back in to this point.
The Flying Lions taking a smart engage here through the Mega Room, pushing this point. Pumpkin melted though by PDK. The Coalescence is popped, and PDK is taken down. MB Confident interrupted in the middle of the Sigma ult. The Misthawk falls so low, upsetting, finding 2 picks of his own, and now just Sushi alive for Battalion to heal up the team. Normac frozen and finished off soon, popping the bongo to try to save the fight. MB Confident back on the ball to touch the point, actually finds 2 kicks, but just a lone ball should not be enough, especially when Greninja has that grab. And I mean, I may be proved wrong here as picks are being found for the side of Battalion. Although Greninja does find 2, PDK back on the Doom Fist falls extremely low. Sushi is just the last remaining member of Battalion to touch, and it's not looking too good here for Battalion.
Yeah, despite not having the anti-grenade or any form of damage eat there, Flying Lines don't really care, as Upsetting just looking to clean up here with the Reaper ultimate. This point is all but halted as Flying Lines continue to kill every member of Battalion attempting to touch here, and a Blizzard on the point is the last ultimate used in this map. A good hold there by Flying Lines, you know. You might say that it was a bit unfair that, you know, Battalion had that disconnect on first point of it. You know, I wouldn't say unfair, but unfortunate. You know, Flying Lines, they definitely benefited from that, but then they came back on this defense and they held the point so close that even if Battalion had that disconnect, Flying Lines probably wouldn't have won this map anyway. And now we get to see the map 5 come out. The first point of control was pretty dominant for the Flying Lines because Battalion had connection issues. This next point of control, I'm not sure if the script is going to be flipped, because I am unsure of if there are going to be any more connection issues or if Flying Lions are going to keep this momentum that they have going from the last map. But Battalion have looked pretty good so far when they're able to play these rush comps, and control favors rush, as we mentioned in the first map.
Yeah, Battalion has looked really good with their entire team, and not to discredit the Flying Lines, but the map they lost, the first map they lost, Nepal, they fought 5v6, and in Junkertown, you know, their first defense where they're trying to hold close, Normac accidentally found himself off the map because of lag, and on their second point hold, GLD disconnected. So it's been really unfortunate for Battalion, these 2 maps they've lost, but as long as they have no disconnection issues, and honestly just no internet issues overall, I think they can definitely pull this 5th map together, which is going to be Busan. And now, moving into Busan, I know, as I said at the very beginning, these control types are very brawl-oriented, and we saw the Somber Reaper come out on Nepal, so I'm pretty sure we are going to see kind of the same look here heading into Busan. What do you expect to see?
Yeah, I completely agree, Chim. I think we're going to see a lot of Somber Reaper, but At the same time, Busan does have a variety of map terrains across the 3 points. On downtown, I'd say maybe you don't see the Somber Reaper, maybe you see some more long-range hit scan. That's worked out pretty well. Both teams have shown success with the long-range hit scan so far, actually. And I think long-range hit scan can also be pretty good on Busan Shrine or Sanctuary. I'm not very sure of the map names for the individual control points, I'm going to be honest. But we start here on Mecha Base, and we're looking at Somber Reaper Mirror here so far for both teams.
And we've got Captain Cat here on the DPS. Not a role she is well known for, but I'm guessing there are internet issues on the side of Flying Lions as well. And, you know, Battalion here on this dive composition is just playing extremely aggressively into the Flying Lions. They're building so much ult charge because they're just playing so aggressively, and the Flying Lions just forced all the way back. Although Cinnamon almost at their coalescence here. If they just continue to play this like they have, they could build that. As PDK goes on early, that's so big for the Flying Lions. They're going to be able to push into this extremely fast because Pumpkin just does not have to care about the Reaper now that he's dead.
That is true. Now, MB Compton being demeched as there's an attempt from Battalion to shift over to the point here, and they actually cap the point, which is pretty big for them.
Coalescence comes out from Sushi, and the counter Coalescence comes out from Cinnamon to match. PDK finds Green Ninja, and this fight is still pretty even on point, though. The Primal Rage just come out from Normek to try to turn the fight. The beat is available for Z if they want to commit that to keep the team up, but PDK does find Pumpkin, and now this is looking like a lost fight for Flying Lions as they lose Z as well.
I am very surprised that Battalion came back in that fight, but that was a good disengage that we've seen a few times so far this series from Battalion. They lost a few players, and they're like, peace. They just dipped. And now they have an ultimate advantage going into this next fight. They have the EMP, Star Platinum not quite having it here, and there it is.
The EMP going super aggressive, finds 6 people, a massive EMP from Mudkip, and you know the bigger thing, not only did he EMP 6, but they won the fight with only EMP. That's massive for Battalion here.
Yeah, that actually is really massive, but MB Compton is decently far away from his mech. If we see an aggressive engage from Flying Lions, perhaps punishing that could be good for them here, but nope, he's gonna get it. The EMP engaged as a good option for the Flying Lions here.
So many ults coming out. The Diva Bomb from MB Compton finds 2, a grab from Greninja, and a beat from both sides, as well as the EMP from Star Platinum. An absolutely crazy fight, which is insanely hard to cast, as 5 people, it looks like, basically instantly die from the side of the Flying Lions, and so many ults thrown out from both sides.
I believe Mist's beat got stripped by Star Platinum's EMP, but I don't think that was enough there for the Flying Lions, as they look to take a different approach here with a few ultimates that they have remaining. I think they look pretty good to win this fight.
Sushi's got the Coalescence here, does pop it. Pumpkin with a big shadow though, finds 2. Cinnamon with their Coalescence as well is going to be able to finish off 2 of the members of Battalion and become the demect on point, and Battalion is looking like they will lose this fight after capping 99%.
Yeah, but the turnaround here from Flying Lions, but they don't have any ultimates to hold down the fort as Mudkip has the EMP. If he gets this off, it might just be lights out here for Flying Lions on this point, but they're looking to do everything here to deny him positioning. Or maybe they aren't. Maybe he's just going to get this EMP off for free as we get to see a big EMP from Mudkip.
Huge EMP is going to catch 5. Flying Line's not even close to any ults. Normai pops the Primal Rage to try to do more damage. MB Compton is pinned by Pumpkin, but it's not going to matter as MB Compton gets his revenge, takes them down. Battalion caps this point, and Flying Line's going to have to make a very, very panicked touch in overtime.
Yeah, if they can touch at all, they do manage to touch. They're going to have to trickle in onto the point here. They are nearing the EMP, though. They might be able to use that ultimate to turn things around, but PDK almost has the Death Blossom. MB Compton has the bomb going in now. This is looking pretty good for Battalion here.
Greninja taken extremely low, not quite demeched. Star Platinum falls, so no hope of EMP for the Flying Lions. And Battalion takes Mecha Base 100 to 36, moving on to this next map.
Yeah, overall clean play from Battalion. Despite losing 36%, they forced Flying Lions to use all of their ultimates to even flip the point. And then they just came back with EMP, and they won the stall fight after that. So really, really good play there from Battalion. But now we have the potential for some slight composition changes going to downtown. Although I mentioned long-range hit scan, but I think that's going to be a bit difficult here for the Flying Lions, as neither of their long-range hit scan players are in. Crimson and Upsetting, as you mentioned earlier, perhaps there's internet issues or something like that going on for the Flying Lions, and they are going to be sticking to the Somber Reaper. Now they're playing the Winston as well, so we're going to see a complete mirror here as both teams look to rush the mini health pack. Or the mega health pack, sorry.
Yeah, and Mudkip does get the hack onto the Mega first, which is absolutely huge for Battalion. You can back up and get that Mega, as well as this really good position here. And just Battalion with all the space, they control pretty much the entire map. Flying Lions forced all the way back to point here. And Battalion is kind of free to do whatever they want here with this high ground and all this room. They are going to engage it really hard on Greninja, who is hacked and demeched. Now this big advantage is going to allow the Reaper to basically melt Pumpkin, which the Reaper and Sombra do manage to do that. That's 2 picks for the side of Battalion. Pumpkin finishes off Captain Cat, and Battalion caps the point.
Yeah, a few good kills there from Flying Lions, but not enough to turn the fight there, as Battalion, they hacked the Mega, and Flying Lions got so spooked they ran all the way to the back of point and gave Battalion so much space, and Battalion were like, okay, and then they just used it so well to take that fight and cap the point there. And the ultimates are looking good for Battalion as well. A few of them almost online.
Flying Line's taking the aggressive approach in the left alley, but Pumpkin falls so early. Flying Line's forced back Battalion, pushing their advantage and trying to kill these staggers, which is huge for them.
Yeah, smart move there by Mist, trying to secure some stagger kills. Cinnamon is found, and Normac using the Primal in the spawn doors. Saw this just last Discord tier feature from Lightspeed, I believe. That's a good one if you haven't checked it out already. But now we've got a lot of ultimates on both sides. We have the EMPs and the sound barriers. We're gonna see the battle of the EMPs and the sound barriers this fight. As the EMP coming out from Mudkip and the bomb coming out as well. This is big.
MB Compton gonna find Z as Mudkip is accidentally discovered, but does manage to get the EMP off, and Battalion not even committing that many ults, only EMP and Diva Bomb. And with 66% and ticking, it's looking almost to last fight territory here. Flying Lions have got to get these 3 ultimates, almost 5 ultimates out before it's too late for them.
Yeah, definitely, but the EMP could be the difference maker here for the Flying Lions, as Star Platinum is already forcing the objective.
Almost gets the pick there on the Mist. The B comes out from the Flying Lions to keep themselves up, and the EMP takes 4 members of Battalion hack. Normac falls before the B can reach him. PDK with the big Reaper ult though. It is gonna get Defense Matrix, does find Captain Cat, and now an even fight once again. Pumpkin pops the Primal Rage, and Greninja with the Diva Bomb doesn't find anything. Still an even fight here as so many ults are used from the side of Flying Lions. Mudkip taken extremely low. Almost to that EMP though. PDK with a huge pick on a Cinnamon though. Sushi gets Z, and MP Compton demeched here. The Flying Lions have managed to cap the point, but they've used all their ultimates except for the Reaper ult, and they've lost the fight. The Battalion is so close to this 100%. Already capped again at 87. Pumpkin switches to Hog, which is an interesting pick to touch the point, but Flying Lions just has one more chance.
Yeah, and Battalion, they have the EMP back up. Mudkip charging it so fast. Star Platinum is going to touch the point here. Forced to uncloak. Not going to be able to get his EMP, most likely, for this stall fight.
So Flying Lions forced out, and all Flying Lions can hope for here is a big Reaper ult, and Captain Cat is barely able to get the point. The EMP from Mudkip is absolutely huge, and Normac finds a pick of his own. Captain Cat with the Reaper ult doesn't find much. PDK throws his own out, forces the rest of the Flying Lions back, and Flying Lions only have the Sombra on point here. Star Platinum with a huge EMP finds 5, but there's not anything to follow up, and Battalion is going to take Busan 2-0 and win the series 3-2.
Yeah, the revenge story on Control here for Battalion. Losing the first Control map 0-2, now winning this next one 2-0. No internet issues, except for, actually there was perhaps one on the side of Flying Lions for this map. Unfortunately for both teams, this was a series riddled with internet issues, but we got to see some great plays regardless, and it was a nice and close series between these two teams. But Battalion, when they were in control of this series, they looked really good. They snowballed really hard a lot across Anubis, Hollywood, Busan, even parts of Junkertown, and Battalion looked really good this series. But Flying Lions looked pretty good as well. They did take those 2 maps. Not a bad showing from them by any means, but Yeah, Battalion, especially on that last map, I think that showed Battalion's true potential there. They just looked really, really, really good on the last map.
Yeah, with all 6 people, Battalion's roster has looked really strong, and I believe Flying Lines, with their internet issues on map 5, it was unfortunate, but Flying Lines have also looked strong. It was an incredibly close match, and both these teams are looking really strong to head into week 3 and heading into the playoffs in general. So I'm excited to see that. But overall, it was a great match. It was close. Thank you everyone for tuning in to the Overwatch Tranquility Discord tier, Stage 2, Week 2 match between the Flying Lines and Battalion, where we saw Battalion taking their second win of Stage 2, 3-2, and with this win, they now clinch a 3rd or 4th seed in playoffs. Be sure to catch our featured matches, which are coming this week, starting with Ultraviolet and Venom Cheese in the Harmony tier, heading to Tailwind and Exodus on Thursday, which is the Discord tier. Folklore and Dirt is going to be your Transcendence feature on Friday, and then you've got Paradise and Jersey Boys to wrap up Stage 2 as your Sunday YouTube feature. I'm Chimanzy, and I've been your play-by-play caster for tonight, joined by Needle on analysis and Booth on production. Once again, thank you everyone for watching, and we hope to see you again.